Hi everyone. The subject is object-oriented programming. The topic is defining classes in Java. A class is an entity that determines how an object will balance and what the object will contain. A class is the basic building block of an object-oriented language. It is acting as a template that describes the data and behavior associated with instances of that class. When you instantiate a class means creating an object. The class contains set of variables and methods. The data associated with a class or object stored and its behavior associated with a class or object is implemented with methods. The class is a blueprint from which individual objects are created. For example, class, my class, field, constructors and method declarations. In general, class declaration can include these components in order. Modifiers. A class can be public or has default access. Class name. The name should begin with the initial letter. Superclass. The name of the class parent, if any, preceded by the keyword extends. A class can only extend one parent, that is subclass. Interfaces. A comma separated list of interfaces implemented by the class, if any, preceded by the key implements. A class can implement more than one interface. Body. The class body is surrounded by braces. Then constructors. Every class have a constructor. If the constructor is not defined in the class, the Java compiler builds a default constructor for that class. While a new object is created, at least one constructor will be invoked. The main rule of constructors is that they should have the same name as the class. A class can have more than one constructor. Constructors are used for initializing new objects. Fields are variables that provide the state of the class and its objects. And methods are used to implement the behavior of the class and its objects. Rules for writing a constructor. Constructor of a class must have same name as the class name. Right? So the class name and the constructor name must be same. The constructor in Java should be abstract, final, static and synchronized. Access modifiers can be used in constructor declaration to control its access, that is, which other class can call the constructor. Types of constructors. There are two types of constructor in Java. Non-argument constructor. A constructor that has no parameter is known as default constructor. If the constructor is not defined in the class, then the compiler creates default constructor for a class. If we write a constructor with arguments or no argument, then compiler does not create default constructor. Default constructor provides the default values to the object like 0, null, etc. depending on the type. Then parameterized constructor. A constructor that has parameters is known as parameterized constructor. If we want to initialize fields of the class with your own values, then use parameterized constructor. Then important topic in constructor is constructor overloading. Like methods, we can overload constructors for creating objects in different ways. Compiler differentiate constructors on the basis of number of parameters, types of parameters and order of parameters. Constructors are different from methods in Java. Constructors must have the same name as the class, as we said, within which it defined, while it is not necessary for method in Java. Constructors do not return type while method have a return type of void. It does not return any value. Constructor is called only once at the time of object creation, while method can be called any number of times. Creating an object. The class provides the blueprints for objects. The objects are the instances of the class. In Java, the new keyword is used to create new objects. So, there are three steps when creating an object from a class: declaration, instantiation, and third one is initialization. Thank you.